I'm Dana Russell with Kokopelli Real Estate and Property Management, and this is the Kokopelli Connection, where we discuss the history, happenings, and lifestyle of Western Colorado. In this episode of the Kokopelli Connection, we sit down with the Grand Junction Sports Commission to talk about the incredible lineup of events happening across the Grand Valley. From family fun runs like the Peachy 5K to major mountain bike events such as Rides and Vibes and their signature event, the Junior College World Series, also known as JUCO. The Sports Commission plays a major role in driving activity, tourism, and economic growth in Grand Junction. We dive into how these events are organized, the impact they have on the local community, and why Grand Junction continues to be a premier destination for athletes, families, and outdoor enthusiasts alike. Whether you're a local looking to get involved or someone considering a move to the area, this episode highlights just how active and opportunity-rich the Grand Valley really is.
Perfect.
Today we have the Grand Junction Sports Commission here with us. So if you could tell us who you are, what you do with the Sports Commission, and then we'll get started.
Yeah, so my name is Kate Ellison. I am the marketing coordinator with the Grand Junction Sports Commission. I've been part of the team for almost 3 years now. So super excited. We're a local nonprofit focused on just creating more sporting opportunities in the region.
And just for clarification, the Grand Junction Sports Commission is not related to the city. It's not related to CMU. It's standalone, right?
Yeah, we're a standalone nonprofit. We're started 2025. This will be our 11th year as a nonprofit. We were started in 2015 in a collaboration with the city and CMU just to kind of get a sports commission up and running. It's pretty uncommon for a town of our population to have a standalone nonprofit, but we're super grateful for that because we love working with the city and we love working with CMU, but it's also nice to be able to kind of do our own thing. Mm-hmm. So we've been a standalone nonprofit for 11 years now. We're funded by the lodging tax in town. So every hotel room that's booked in the city of Grand Junction, there's a 6% tax. We get 0.75% of that tax, which is a good amount. In the entire year for us. The rest of the lodging tax goes to the Visit Grand Junction and the Air Alliance, who helps run and operate the airport. So we all kind of work in collaboration to bring more people to Grand Junction and show them how great it is. So we do that through sporting opportunities.
Nice.
Yeah.
And how long have you been with the Sports Commission?
Yeah, so I'll be 3 years in May. I came right after graduating from the University of Arizona. I was born and raised in Grand Junction, so I knew the area well, and I knew I wanted to come back here. So thankfully I got this opportunity, and so 3 years in mid-May will be.
Nice. Yeah. Nice. So tell us, what is a Sports Commission?
Yeah, that's a great question. I also didn't know it until I actually went on a trip in college to the Indiana Sports Corps, which is like kind of the first ever sports commission. But what sports commissions like ourselves are designed to do is bring people into towns and areas through sports tourism. So there's this whole sports tourism industry. I'm sure a lot of people saw it with like Taylor Swift. They saw how people were traveling to that and creating a whole economic boom in cities. We aim to do that on a much smaller scale here, but bringing people in for marathons, triathlons, bike races. JUCO World Series is a big one for us. That's our largest event. But just creating economic impact through these sporting events is what we are set up to do. That looks different for every sports commission. We own and operate 9 of our own events, which is pretty unique. Most sports commissions are set up to just help other organizing groups come into areas, help them set up with venues, hotels, anything they need to help make their event successful. But somebody else operates the event. They'll bring in all of their like equipment, things like that. We do that as well. We just did that with USA Cycling. We've got mountain bike national championships and collegiate road national championships. So that's kind of more the traditional approach of USA Cycling comes in. We're just really here to help support them and make their event successful. But then we also own and operate our own events that we do everything front to back for.
I've run the Rimrock half before.
That's one of our favorite ones. That is The Sports Commission did not start that one. This is our 30th year of the Rimrock Marathon. So it has been around longer than we have, but we took that over in 2016. That was kind of our first event that we took over in the area and what helped establish us as the Sports Commission. But that one's really great. This will be our 11th or 10th year owning that event specifically, and it's been fantastic. That's my personal favorite event that the Sports Commission does.
Yeah.
It just shows how beautiful the Colorado National Monument is. That's the event we get the most out-of-town visitors from and out-of-state visitors.
Oh, really?
I think last year we had 28 states represented, and someone from Canada and someone from Mexico. I was like, this is wild.
Yeah.
But it's my favorite thing. Being from Grand Junction, I know how great it is, but it's so great to hear people come in and be like, I had no idea this was out here. Those red rocks. Like, I always thought Colorado was just mountains and snow.
Yes.
Like ski towns. I was like, no, we're the desert part of Colorado. Not a lot of people know what that is, but it's so great to be able to show the Colorado National Monument. Fruta is such a cute little town that, I mean, I don't think I've met a single person that doesn't like being in Fruta. So that one's one of our favorite events for sure.
I just did the half, so I just ran down it. I can't imagine going up, over, and then down. I am
thankful that when people ask me if I'm running that marathon, I get to say, oh no, I organized the event. Like, one day I'll get out there, but I'm good being on the other side for now, because the half does look a lot of fun. That one's definitely much bigger. I think last year we had about 500 runners in the half.
Oh, wow. That's a lot.
Yeah, it's grown significantly over the last couple years. But yeah, that full marathon going up, we drive it every year before the race. And I go, oh my goodness, I cannot imagine getting up, doing that. And then you still have to go the 13 miles down and into Fruta. It's not just that climb. But our intern actually, that was her first marathon she ever did.
Oh, wow.
I was like, do you know what you were getting yourself into here? But she did great. She loved it. But
Good. What is your particular favorite event from the Sports Commission?
Yeah, Rimrock is definitely up there. We also just did our Maverick Classic Bike Race and Beer Fest. That's a fun one. I was never into cycling before starting with the Sports Commission. Really didn't know what it was other than just, people riding bikes. I didn't know there was so many different types of biking. But that one is road cycling, so the really skinny tires. We do 2 days. It's a downtown crit race, which it's a criterium. That's a closed loop course. It's about a little over a half mile right in downtown Grand Junction. It goes right on Main Street, and then we have a beer fest that goes with it, which the beer fest isn't quite as much in the realm of sports, but it just takes that event to a whole other level. These racers go to tons of races throughout the year, and we've always heard that this one's one of the most fun ones because we've got just about 1,000 people in that beer fest and vendor area. They're cheering them on. It's such a good time. And this year we had beautiful weather, which made it a great day.
Yeah, we went down for that one, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's one of those things of, even if you don't like bike racing, it's kind of fun to see how fast they go.
Yeah.
And again, it's just fun to even if you don't like beer, we had puppies from Underdog at the event. We had the GJ River Hawks out with a little hockey net. So it was a fun weekend for sure.
They take those corners so tight.
Yes.
It's nice that they put some of those corners in because that's the interesting part of watching them take those corners.
Well, and so we just changed that course this year, and it now has 8 turns, which is apparently kind of uncommon for collegiate crit races. But I mean, from a spectator's perspective, it's fantastic to watch because those are the most fun things. And we have to put hay bales out on the corners in case they crash. And thankfully, we didn't have many crashes this year, but it does happen. They're prepared for it, but it's always, that's one of the most fun parts of that race for sure.
So what are all of the events, all 9 events that the Sports Commission does?
Yeah, so the Maverick Classic kicks off, actually, that just changed. We do a New Year's Day 5K and 10K out at the airport. We work with the Air Alliance to kind of promote sports tourism, and we've always wanted to show how great our airport is. So this year we've done some events out at the airport before, but this year we added a New Year's Day 5K and 10K on the secondary runway at the airport. So you actually get to run on the runway.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's a super fun event. I always love doing that one because we get to go out and be all official with our airport badges. We have to go through TSA training of here's what you can and can't do and the places you're allowed to go. That one's super fun because you have other than that, unless you go into aviation, when are you going to be able to stand on a runway?
Yeah.
And that main runway stays active, so we get flights landing and taking off the whole time, which is super fun.
Probably adds to it.
Yeah. So this was our first year in 2026, and we're hoping that just becomes kind of a little family tradition, kind of like the turkey trot that the Firefighter Association does. So that's our first event of the year. We do our Maverick Classic Bike Race and Beer Fest. And then our biggest race of the year is our Rides and Vibes Mountain Bike and Music Festival in downtown. That one's a super fun 2-day event. Again, right on Main Street. It's got mountain biking out at the Lunch Loops trails, and then 2 free days of live music. We've got 9 different bands and some more fun, exciting stuff coming up. And we're also adding motocross demos to this year for our 5th year. That one's a super fun one. We help a lot with the JUCO World Series. That's, like I said, that's our kind of marquee sports tourism event in Grand Junction.
Yep.
It has the biggest impact. Everybody knows and loves JUCO. The community rallies around it. So that's a really fun one that we're involved with pretty heavily. We also do a powder horn run, trail run, in the summer because it's just too dang hot down here in the valley to run outside.
Yeah.
Unless it's like dark, and that's, not super fun.
Yeah.
So we do a trail run up at Powderhorn
That's
in
the one
July.
that goes up Peacemaker, right?
Yes. So it goes up Stagecoach.
Or yes,
yeah.
Stagecoach.
But you run up the mountain. It's a little over 1,600 feet of elevation gain, I believe. And you can either do a 5K or a 15K. So the 5K, you run up and then you get to ride the chairlift down, which is kind of a nice way to end your run. And then we have a smaller group of people that do the 15 where you go up, down, and then back up again.
Oh, geez.
It seems like torture for me.
Yeah.
I am a runner, but that seems like a lot. But we've got people that just love doing that kind of endurance racing. The elevation runs have become very trendy in running.
Really?
There's there's a run up at Winter Park where you go as many times as you can until you just quit. And that I'm thankful we are not doing.
Yeah.
But that's a fun one for sure. It gets you a little bit out of the heat because it's usually about 20 degrees cooler up there.
Right.
And when we don't have a ton of smoke in the valley from wildfires, it's even better. But that's kind of one of our few summer events. It's just too hot to do too many things outside, as a lot of people know. Then we also do our fall is kind of our running time. We do the Just Peachy 5K and 10K in Palisade. That one supports Palisade Police and Fire. So that's a fun one. It used to be part of Peach Fest weekend, and then Peach Fest weekend and our race just got too big. The town of Palisade asked us to kind of spread it out to make sure that they had enough support from the town for first responders, make sure it wasn't too many people in one place. So we're now part of Peach Days. So they moved us, the car show, and the parade all to the weekend before, and the ice cream social, which that one's a fun one.
Yep.
But that's through Riverbend Park in Palisade. And like I said, all the proceeds go back to Palisade Police and Fire. So that one's usually one of our better turnouts. So that's a fun race. And then after that one, we've got a mountain bike race up at Powderhorn as well. It's the CMU team's home race. It's CMU Rumble. Again, I
didn't realize the Sports Commission did that one.
Yeah, so we work a lot with the CMU cycling team. They're kind of our hidden gem at CMU. They're Omni champions for 6 years in a row. Like, they're the top collegiate cycling club in the nation. So we love highlighting them and kind of helping them with events. So we help with that event to help with timing, just getting everything organized. It's great that we can be able to help. CMU cycling team does a lot as well, and we love to kind of highlight that program. So we do that event. Then we also have a triathlon out at Highline Lake. It's called the Desert's Edge Triathlon Series. It's a sprint, Olympic, and off-road triathlon, and we actually just made it an official collegiate race for CMU Triathlon last year. Okay. So we had 8 different collegiate teams out for that. That's a super fun one. Highline Lake is beautiful. A lot of people don't know that we have such beautiful water out here. So that one's a fun kind of intro to triathlons if people are interested in trying that one out, because Highline is still an open water swim, but it's a little bit more calm than an ocean or something like that. So that one's a super fun one in September that we do. And then we also have the Rimrock Marathon that we've talked about. We also help with a Halloween 5K towards Halloween time. that we partner with Royce Hurst on. So it's a doggy 5K. That one's super fun. We get tons of dogs. I think last year we had over 100 dogs in costume, which is fantastic. As a dog lover, I love seeing all of the little pups and their people. So yeah, like I said, we work with a ton of events. Those are kind of the ones that we do a lot of the things for. And then there's just so many. There's too many to list that we work with outside of that. But
yeah. So when you have an event, what all goes into that? What do you guys do? Who do you coordinate? Tell me about that.
Yeah, so it looks different for every event, but a lot of our focus is on cycling races, whether it be road cycling or mountain bike, and then running. So for our cycling races, there's a lot of, especially our road races, there's a lot of like traffic control.
Yeah.
We need a certain amount of porta potties to make sure everybody has a good time. There's all of the marketing aspect that falls under my wheelhouse. So we're a small team. There's 3 full-time staff at the Sports Commission. There's our executive director, Ben Snyder. I am the marketing coordinator, and then we have an operations manager named Sam Smith. So she does all of the kind of permitting, making sure that we're in compliance with the city, pulling any permits we need, traffic control, things like that, all of the things that you don't necessarily think of when you're attending an event. She helps coordinate all of our volunteers where we need spots, like at our crit races downtown. There is a lot of cars, and we need people volunteering to help make sure that people can cross the street safely and that our cyclists are safe on course. So she helps organize a lot of that kind of thing. I do get to do more of what I like to say is the fun side, where I get to do everything from making stickers and t-shirts and awards to we do all of our social media, day of, beforehand, that kind of thing. I build our website, make sure everybody has the information they need. But yeah, it looks very different. Our running races, like our Rimrock Marathon, we've got 26.2 miles of course to mark and make sure that everybody knows where they're going. Because if you get off course on 26 miles and you add a couple extra, it's not fun. So that one looks a little bit different. I always joke that there's kind of 2 parts to the event, and I only ever get to see one part. It's like our Rides and Vibes Mountain Bike and Music Festival. I am downtown all weekend, which I love, but there's 40 miles of backcountry mountain bike racing that I have never seen. Our operations coordinator, Sam, she gets to see all of that and coordinate, make sure that we've got aid stations and medical staff and volunteers out there and making sure the trails are in good condition, which is great. And I love that she gets to do that. I just, like, people will ask me like, oh, hey, where does this I have no idea. I know the downtown, that is my bread and butter. I love talking to the athletes, but if there are questions about the trail, we have handy dandy maps and other people that can hopefully answer that. So it's really is a team effort when it comes to getting ready for these events, because there's so many moving parts to everyone. If we have food trucks, we need to reach out to them. We need to get them set up, and they need certain power requirements. And we have a lot of local vendors, businesses that are sponsored, and they come out and they have a table booth, info booth, and just lots of different moving parts to each event. There's too many to just like. We've tried to create a master doc of like, hey, if you want to run a 5K, here's everything you need.
Standardize
and it's just, we can get most of the way there, but you always need somebody that kind of understands what's going on with like, hey, where do I put my bib when I'm running? You got to have someone that knows how to answer that question. You got to have water stations and Gatorade, that kind of thing. So there's a lot of different moving parts to that, and that's one thing we're really focused on trying to do is any group that does want to do an event, if we can kind of offer some expertise and try to help on some of that planning side to take some of that burden off, that's what we really love to do and why we're involved in so many different events.
So Rides and Vibes is the next event.
Yes.
Tell us about Rides and Vibes.
Yeah, so Rides and Vibes is our biggest event that the Sports Commission owns and operates. That it is our 5th year of it being Rides and Vibes. Previously, it was an event called the Grand Junction Off-Road, owned by a company out of Arizona. After COVID happened and they had canceled 2020 and 2021, they kind of said, hey, we're not really going to come back in 2022. And our executive director, Ben Snyder, he was like, hey, this is a great event. Grand Junction's ready for outside events again, whereas other cities were maybe still pretty closed down for COVID restrictions. We were ready to be outside again, safely, of course. But so he took that and he we took the event and kind of made it our own. We gave it a new brand with the Rides and Vibes branding. We changed some things about how the race operates, but that was, from what I have heard, I was not on board yet, but that first year was definitely a learning curve. It's a lot to do, and at that time it was only him and an intern doing this race, which I cannot imagine.
Yeah.
We had a lot of help from our partners at downtown Grand Junction with the music and everything like that, but it's a lot to take on with 3 full-time staff and a ton of volunteer help. But after that, it's just kind of grown and adapted each year. This is our 5th year. It's a 2-day event downtown. It used to be a 3-day event. We condensed it down to 2 days just to make it a little bit easier for everyone. But it's 2 days of free live music. Friday night is a fun kind of evening time. We do some crit racing. So again, that closed loop course. We shut down streets on Main Street and downtown. But we do a kids ride with a doctor from our partners at Intermountain Health. They're our title sponsor for this event. And that one's always a blast. They bring out doctors actually in their scrubs, and they teach the kids about the importance of helmet safety, and they get to do a little course. Some of them are a little too little to do the full crit course, so they do a little out and back, and they got their little Strider bikes. Yep. And that one's always fun. I get to stand at the end and make sure they turn around because,
there's always a good turnout for that one.
Yeah, it's a super fun one. So that one's totally free. So that one's a really fun one to get your little ones involved in the event. And then there's also a community crit. This year we're making it the COP MOBA community crit. So COP MOBA is a Colorado Plateau Mountain Bike Association. They help build and maintain trails in the area. And so they're working on a fundraiser to help do some building and restoration out at the Lunch Loops trails. So we're working on a fundraiser with them for this year. So they're doing the COP MOBA community crit. That one's super fun. Everybody comes in costume. That one also has a really great turnout every year. Again, it's free to attend. It's just a lot of fun to just kind of ride your bike on Main Street. Again, the roads are closed, so it's very safe for everybody involved.
It's always fun to see the different bikes that people bring.
Yes.
The tandems or
the tandems are my favorite, I gotta say, especially when you got the matching outfits.
Yeah.
That one's always fun. But yeah, it really is for everybody. Like, it's not like a serious, you gotta go fast.
Yeah.
It's just kind of a fun, chill ride downtown. GJ Bike Night usually combines their ride with us that night, which is always fun. But then we also have pro crits. So we have a pro field as part of this event. And so the pros have to race Friday night. And that is your high speed, close together. It's only for the pros to make sure that everybody is safe. But we do that on Friday night as well. And then, of course, we've got tons of live music that day as well. Beer garden provided by Ska Brewing and Talbot Cider. Everybody kind of loves coming out. You've got 2 stages. This year we're changing up the layout a little bit, so we're kind of having dueling stages almost. So you don't even have to walk from 4th to 5th like you used to have to before. You can just kind of turn around and walk down the street a little bit and go to each band. So we're super excited to see how that works for this year. But again, totally free to attend. All live music. Friday night's headliner is the Lowdown Brass Band, and they are kind of it's a brass band. It's a little bit different vibe from what we've had in years past, but we're super excited for Friday. And then Saturday is the mountain bike. Morning is mountain bike. Afternoon, it will be motocross. So we've got 15, 30, and 40-mile mountain bike races out on the Lunch Loops trails, which is a lot of fun. We're hoping it won't be too hot this year.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that one, they start and finish in downtown Grand Junction, so they come right back to all the action and the live music in downtown. And then we're also adding for our 5th year a motocross demo and race. So we're going to have an urban enduro and a freestyle.
What made you combine? Because it doesn't seem like the two would go together.
Yeah, it doesn't seem that way, but we've actually, so some of the people we're working with for this were racing the mountain bike race. And so we've found that there's kind of a weird overlap in motocross racing and mountain biking because we have so much great BLM land. Yeah. So people around here love moto racing. So we just kind of wanted to add something that was fun that people could come and watch. They could still, if you're interested, they can participate. Just something to get more people downtown on Saturday, especially in that kind of like afternoon, evening.
Yeah.
Because the live music is great and we love that and people show up for that. But we noticed that there was kind of a little bit of a lull after the mountain bike races were done, waiting for more of the music to get started. So we're working with some good partners in the motocross world, because I am not a very experienced motocross racer, but they're helping us out, getting everything prepped and planned, and we're super excited to see how that works, because, I mean, again, that's another thing where even if you're just there for the live music, it is really cool. They're going to have a freestyle best trick and best whip contest, which we have this massive beanbag thing that they're going to jump onto. So everything will be very safe, but it'll be really cool to see. So yeah, we're adding that for this year. We're excited to hopefully bring in a new audience to that Rides and Vibes.
Yeah.
For our 5th year, we got a new logo. We're just kind of going bigger and bolder. So we love highlighting the outdoor community in Colorado, and I think that's kind of our best weekend for that. So just kind of as many people as we can get involved, while staying true to kind of the roots of the event.
What's the urban enduro going to look like?
Yeah, so from what I understand, it is kind of like a oversized obstacle course for motocross. I am excited to see exactly what that looks like, because just based on like looking up YouTube, there's not as many videos of urban enduros in a downtown situation. So kind of a big obstacle course, basically.
So you guys bringing in boulders, logs, that kind of thing?
Yes, I don't have the full list of everything they're bringing. Thankfully somebody else is organizing that for us. But yeah, we're going to shut down Saturday morning. They're going to start building all that out, and then we'll get that started around 2 p.m. on Saturday.
They're going to start Saturday morning, be ready to go by the afternoon?
Yeah.
They're going to hustle.
Yeah,
nice.
We have faith in them. We work with some really great people. They own the Sanctuary compound out in Mac that's just like motocross racing. They're well experienced in that. So we're excited to see what that looks like for this year.
Cool. That's going to be fun.
Yeah.
It's going to be a neat change.
Yeah, we're excited to see kind of how it changes the event. Obviously, we won't ignore that it's a lot about free live music and mountain bike racing, but we're excited to see what kind of other people that might bring to the event.
And what time does the event go till on Saturday?
Everything Friday and Saturday night, music has to stop at 10 p.m. But our headliners go on at about 8:30. Saturday we're out there all day. We've got our first races going off at 7:30, so we're out there 7:30 to 10:30. Friday everything will start at about 4 to 10. So packed weekend for sure.
Yeah, it is. Yep. If someone wants to volunteer, what can they do?
Yeah, so we definitely need volunteers for this event. I think we've got, I think there's like 90 spots to fill over the 2 days. We've got a volunteer link on our Sports Commission website, and you can do that through the registration page. Like I said, Sam Smith, our operations coordinator, handles all that volunteers. So we've got everything from being a course marshal on Saturday morning, helping make sure riders get going in the right direction. We've got people that we have help with kind of making sure people don't bring alcohol out of the event. There's a wide range of volunteer opportunities. They can definitely find all of that through our website.
And then what event is after Rides and Vibes again?
After Rides and Vibes, we do the JUCO World Series.
Oh, that's right.
That one's, again, this is our 67th year of hosting the JUCO World Series. So that one's our oldest, biggest tournament. It's a lot of fun. We love spending the week out there for sure.
Tell us what JUCO is.
Yeah, so the Junior College World Series. It's the Division I Junior College NJCAA World Series. That's kind of like your big college World Series that you think of in Omaha, Nebraska. It's that for junior colleges.
Okay.
We're really unique in that this is one of the only junior college events that has been hosted in the same city for so long. It's actually there was only 1 year where it was hosted in Oklahoma, and then it has been in Grand Junction ever since. And that's super unique. Usually these tournaments move around every 2 years around the country, but this is special in that we've built such a great relationship with the NJCAA. They love Grand Junction. Our community really does rally around this tournament, and a way like not many others do.
Yeah.
I mean, when we have interns that come in and we explain what JUCO is, they're like, what is this? I'm like, yeah, people take off full weeks of work just to come see this. It's super special for those players because they're used to playing in maybe a crowd of a couple hundred people at most, and then they come here and they've got thousands of people to play in front of. But it's a full week 10-team tournament, double elimination, where we start the week with 10 teams from all over the country there, and they come and they compete to hopefully by the next week get to win the championship. But that's a super fun one. It's usually great for families. There's games all day, almost every day, but that one's a super, super great one. It really does. It kind of sets the tone for sports tourism in Grand Junction. That's kind of what we point to when we're trying to bring in other events and say, look how great this is. I mean, businesses do custom like menu items. They'll do discounts. They love seeing these families and athletes come in. So that's a super great event that we love to be a part of.
Do you know typically how much tickets are for JUCO?
Yes. I know tournament passes actually just went on sale. And that's, I mean, if you go to more than 4 games, which I recommend that you go to more than 4 games, it pays for itself. I believe it depends on day versus night games. I don't want to just tell you a number and have it be wrong,
That's
but
fair.
I mean, they just opened ticket sales. So that's all on their website at JUCOGJ.org. But yeah, it's pretty low cost for a whole family to come out. And again, it's if you come to more than 4 games, and if you have kids in the Valley, you're probably sending your kid to more than 4 games to hang out with their friends, and it's definitely worth buying that tournament pass. There's also reserve seating and general admission, so you can kind of pick and choose what works best for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
How does the Sports Commission figure out what event they want to add next? Because you guys have gotten to 9.
Yeah.
So how does that go? Who determines that?
Yeah. So a lot of the times it comes from seeing a need in the community. So our triathlon, for example, if we didn't host that triathlon, there would not be a triathlon in Grand Junction. So it comes a lot of talking to people in the community, talking to different event organizers and seeing, hey, we think this is a good fit. We know there's a want and a need for it growing in our community. A lot of it is also based on hotel availability. So when we're looking to bring in an event from out of town and recruiting them to our area, we look at what times maybe we have a little bit lower occupancy for our hotels that we can fill and try to bolster that occupancy rate. So, for example, we just hosted last year the World Wake Association National Championship. That was a fantastic win for our community. So
At Amondi?
At Amondi and Highline Lake. The WWA, the World Wake Association, are a national or a global corporation. They host events a lot in Florida, to Dubai, to Japan, to Australia. So that was a really great win for us. That was their national championship, which is their largest event. So we did wakeboarding and wake surfing out at Highline, and then we did Wake Park out at Amondi Wake Zone.
Oh, okay.
And that was really great. We're kind of a unique community in that cable, which is Wake Park, which is where you kind of hold on to the cable and it takes you through the features in the lake. There are very few cables in the U.S. So,
oh, really?
Yeah, the next closest one, I believe, unless it has changed, was in Sacramento. So it's like very unique that we have one here, and we worked with Cody and Victor Aimondi. They have built the park out, and we just really wanted to show how great that resource is for not only our community but surrounding communities. So once they built that and we had Highline Lake, we were able to talk to the WWA and convince them to bring their national championship here. That came at a really great time because it was in late July. So that's usually when our hotel occupancy is a little bit lower because we don't have the college. It's really hot here and people are going on vacations, usually to like beach towns and things. So that was really great for us to be able to fill those hotels and then have an event on the water so it's not too hot, and show people how great Highline Lake and Aimondi Wake Zone are.
How do you guys track the occupancy within hotels?
Yeah, that is one piece of the sports commission, we really do have to have a good relationship with our hoteliers. So Sam Smith works with all of our hoteliers. She will send out RFPs for, hey, we've got an event coming in. What can you kind of offer them, whether it's room box, discounts, free breakfast, things like that. And a lot of that is working and having a good relationship is then them coming back to us and telling, hey, we had this many hotel nights booked for your event. They also tell us, like, we are not allowed to host events in May anymore. It's just too busy here. Like, there's with CMU graduation, with JUCO, with every other, we've got a massive youth soccer tournament in May. There's just too many people trying to stay in Grand Junction in May and we exceed our hotel rooms. Last year CMU was hosting an RMAC tournament and they had teams staying in Rifle because there were no hotels. Really? Yeah. There are times where we definitely have room to grow, but then there are times where we're bursting at the seams and we need a couple more. So we, as much as we can, when we are thinking of planning events, when we're trying to bring events in, we try to tell people to avoid May. And I think it's pretty obvious when you walk around downtown during May that, like, hey, it's definitely busier. And we don't want it to become too overcrowded and have people have a negative experience. So it's beneficial for both of us. But a lot of that is talking to our hotels, making sure that we're giving them information, they're giving us information so we can make it successful for everybody.
Are any of your events specifically geared just towards the local community, not to pull anybody else in from outside?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the goal is always to have people come in, but specifically some of our local 5Ks, like our Halloween 5K with Royce Hurst, that one's pretty local, which is great. That's part of our mission is creating and recruiting these events, but it's also just making Grand Junction a great place to live, work, and play. I know the Mesa County has that slogan. If you've ever driven in and out, you see it on the sign. It's a great place to live, work, and play, and we really try to embrace that. And part of that is providing opportunities for our local residents. So yes, we a lot of the times focus on bringing in tourism, but there's also those local 5Ks that we work with. The Just Peachy 5K, that's also, again, every event is like my favorite, but it is one of my favorites because I grew up in Palisade, went to Palisade High School, so it's really great to be able to give back to that community and see how people get so excited about supporting those first responders and just seeing how beautiful Palisade is. So that one's pretty focused on our local community and helping support them. And I mean, it depends on every event, but mostly the local 5Ks are just for the local community.
Do you guys raise funds other than the sales or the lodging tax?
Yeah, so a lot of our funds, we get the lodging tax. That's a good part of our budget, and that helps us be able to produce a lot of these events and not have to go after as many like grants and things. We actually, with the lodging tax last year, were hit with a pretty big reduction in our budget. The proposed amount, it came in about $130,000 under. So we took about $130,000 under, like, cut to our budget, which was pretty difficult to deal with for a minute there. But basically what we have to do then is look towards our registration fees. We really try not to increase those very much. We know that we want this to be accessible to everybody, so we really rely on sponsorships and business involvement. So we've had to reach out to more businesses, and I mean, the local business community in Grand Junction, the Chamber of Commerce, are fantastic. They really do love seeing our events and want to help make sure that they stay around. So we've dove more into the sponsorship side of things and just kind of creating those opportunities so we don't have to take some of the more grant focused funding from some of our other local nonprofit partners that rely more on those.
Yeah. I had one question. If someone came to you with an event idea, what does that look like? Do you guys talk it through? Do you consider it? Do you help them so that they can do it on their own? Yeah. So this is a really great example, but you worked with a group called Grand Valley Brew Runs. They were a husband and wife pair that came from the Front Range. They moved to Grand Junction, and they had kind of this brewery 5K series that they had out on the Front Range, and they wanted to get that started here. So they reached out to us when they came into town, and we supported them for their first year with a lot of the equipment, and just kind of helped them with, hey, this is where we think a good
course map is, tried to help them with volunteers and then just help them get their information out. That is one of our biggest assets. Is we've got a monthly newsletter that goes out that explains kind of every event in the valley that we can have. That's started to get pretty full, but we talked through kind of logistics with them, what we thought was a good fit, and how we could help them with marketing and advertising. That's a lot of what we do for events. A lot of them we've focused more on giving them marketing, operational support instead of just money, because we want to see these events grow. Because I mean, there are a lot of events in the Grand Valley, but there's a want for it. There's definitely, there's too many people on the block. We want to help other people come in and have a successful event. People have come to us with ideas for events, and if it's a good fit for us, we'll try our best to find somebody to help us put that event on. Otherwise it's a lot of just information. Hey, can we help you with a social media campaign, or can we help you know exactly what permits you need to pull, that kind of thing.
So you're a good resource too then, for sure.
We try our best, yes.
Does the Sports Commission have anything that's coming up that you can maybe drop a hint on? Any other events, or are you guys just focused on the ones that you have?
Yeah, for now we're pretty focused on the ones we have. Like I said, we're a small team and we're doing a lot, so we're trying to make sure that we don't get too bogged down in some of these events, and so making sure that the quality event stays. We're always looking for more event opportunities. I don't think it's officially announced, but we do have the USA Cycling. We're doing the Collegiate Mountain Bike National Championships that happened last year and will happen again in 2026 later in October, but we also have the Road National Championships coming in 27 and 28. So that's going to be another big win for our community. We hosted those a couple years ago in Grand Junction, but we're super excited. We're going to be using a bunch of different venues around town to kind of show these riders coming in from all over the country how great our road cycling is, anywhere from Fruita to Palisade to Grand Junction. So that's kind of one of our big focuses at the moment. But yeah, we're super excited for everything that's going to come. I mean, it just keeps getting busier and busier around here, and we love that. So
tell us one more time before we end, because Rides and Vibes is up next.
Yes.
Tell people where they can go to register.
Yeah, so Rides and Vibes has its own website. It's gjridesandvibes.com. That's got everything you need to know from the rides part of things, with the crit racing, the mountain bike racing. Then we also have the Vibes, which is all of the music. We just announced our music lineup for 2026. And the motocross, that kind of thing. All of that information is on gjridesandvibes.com. We're also pretty active on social media at gjridesandvibes. And then for every other event, including Rides and Vibes, we have grandjunctionsports.org. That's kind of our hub for all things sports in Western Colorado. So that one's also, and then again on social media at Grand Junction Sports.
And I don't think we set a date. What is the date for Rides and Vibes?
Yeah, Rides and Vibes is May 8th and 9th, right in downtown Grand Junction. It's Mother's Day weekend, but we don't touch Sunday, so you can still spend it with your moms. Bring her out, give her some live music. You can go shopping at the local shops downtown, get some flowers, get some fun treats, that kind of thing.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay.
Yes. What's your question, Morgan?
Do you work with MOBA to do some of the courses?
Yeah, so MOBA does a lot of their own trails and trail maintenance on the courses, but we're super excited. We're going to do a bike ride with them as part of our Rides and Vibes this year. So we're going to have a costume bike ride downtown. So we're super excited to work with them there.
All right. Thank you again. We really appreciate you coming in.
Thank you.